It's 10 trivia questions on Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader style questions. Let's see what you remember from when you were like 10. This is Trivia with Buds. What it be, and welcome to another episode of the Trivia with Buds podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Buds. Thanks for checking out the show, and thanks for telling a friend who loves trivia to give it a listen. It's great for practicing for your weekly trivia night. Maybe you play every Thursday night somewhere at 7 p.m. How did I know that? Isn't that crazy that I knew that? Maybe you do, and you're like, hey, it's Monday, it's Tuesday, it's Wednesday. Let's listen to a podcast as a team or as an individual and kind of study up on some random trivia topics that may come up at our trivia night. Well, this is the show for you. And if you love trivia, I want to recommend some other great trivia podcasts. I mentioned one yesterday's episode or a couple days ago. It was called Pod Quiz. So check out Pod Quiz. Check out Trivial Warfare. That's a great podcast, Trivial Warfare. And check out Quiz Bang Bang. Quiz Bang Bang. I think you will enjoy all three of those, just to name a few, if you like trivia podcasts. We have a fun episode on Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader style questions. Nothing too hard. And maybe you are an actual fifth grader listening with your parents in the car on a road trip or on the way to school or on the way to soccer practice right now. Let's see how you do. I bet you can beat your parents if you're listening and you're in fifth grade. Let me know. Email me, ryanbuds@gmail.com, and say, hey, I'm a fifth grader, and I beat my parents in this quiz, and I will send you some free swag in the mail. Send me your address with your parents' permission, of course, and I'll get you some stickers and some trivia books and things like that, okay? That's my challenge for you. But you got to beat your parents. You got to do better than they do on the Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader quiz. And we'll see how that goes down. That's my challenge for you. Today's letter for categories is F. We have animals, insects, and product names. Animals, insects, and product names that all start with an F, as in Frank. Listen for my three at the end of the episode, along with a fun fact of the day. We're all warmed up. We're ready to go, and we're jumping into Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader style trivia. Here we go. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? Answer these questions on things you learn when you're about 10 or 11 years old. Question number 1. Whose picture is on the $5 bill? Number 1, whose picture is on the $5 bill? Question number 2. Maine borders which U.S. state? Maine borders which U.S. state? Number 3, what's the prefix in the word unnecessary? What's the prefix in the word unnecessary? Number 4, what's the clinical name for the thigh bone? What's the clinical name for the thigh bone? Number 5, who invented the light bulb? Who invented the light bulb? Number 6, what landmass on Earth is known as the island continent? What landmass on Earth is known as the island continent? Number 7, what are the large rocks that orbit the sun between Mars and Jupiter called? What's the name of those rocks between Mars and Jupiter? Number 8, the Tropic of Capricorn lies in which hemisphere? The Tropic of Capricorn lies in which hemisphere? Number 9, how many feet are there in 75 yards? How many feet in 75 yards? Number 10, what's the process of a caterpillar turning into a butterfly called? What is that process of a caterpillar turning into a butterfly called? And number 11, the 2-point bonus question to close out, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? What revolutionary leader wrote the influential Common Sense in 1776? What revolutionary leader wrote the influential Common Sense in 1776? Those are all your questions on fifth grade knowledge. We'll be right back with the answers after this. Go have an apple. We are back with the answers to Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader style trivia. Let's see if you got all 11 questions correct. And remember, if you're a fifth grader and you beat your mom or dad or guardian in this quiz, send me an email, ryanbuds@gmail.com. I'll mail you some cool stuff. Good job. Number 1, whose picture is on the $5 bill? That's Abe Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln. Number 2, Maine borders which U.S. state? New Hampshire is the only state that touches Maine in that way. Number 3, what is the prefix in the word unnecessary? That is un. First 2 letters, U-N, un. Number 4, what's the clinical name for the thigh bone? Femur, femur. Number 5, who invented the light bulb? Thomas Edison, Thomas Edison. Number 6, what landmass on Earth is known as the island continent? That's Australia, Australia. Number 7, what are the large rocks that orbit the sun between Mars and Jupiter called? The asteroid belt, asteroids. Number 8, the Tropic of Capricorn lies in which hemisphere? The southern hemisphere. Number 9, how many feet are there in 75 yards? 225 feet. Number 10, what's the process of a caterpillar turning into a butterfly called? Metamorphosis. And number 11, for 2 points, what revolutionary leader wrote the influential Common Sense in 1776? Thomas Paine. There you have it, a fun quiz on 5th grade knowledge. Hope you had a good time playing along. Today's fact of the day is about Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen did not pay his taxes until he was put on the cover of Time magazine in 1975. He then spent the next few years paying off his taxes, leaving him with only $20,000 on his 30th birthday, despite multiple best-selling records and tours. There you go, kids. Pay your taxes. Your letter was F. Animals, I'll say flamingo. Insects, I will say fire ants. And product names, I'll say Fanta. Thanks for listening. Thanks for telling a friend, and we'll see you next time for more trivia with Buds. Cheers.